Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, I was in my backyard reading this. I wasn't going to do this chapter with the team today. I was just reading these by myself and I had to stop myself. I'm going to read a part of this to you because it literally blew my mind and I'm like, people just need to hear this. So give me a second. I am going to quickly share this in a couple chats. If you're watching the replay, you can just fast forward literally 30 seconds, but I am going to send this into a couple different places right now. And then I'm going to read this part to you. So say hello as you guys are on. Okay, cool. Okay, sharing. New distributor. All right, I'm probably just gonna really start streamlining stuff to the Telegram because there is a million chats. Okay, there we go. Okay, guys, this blew my mind. Okay, here we go. So I'm just gonna read this part to you. So in this chapter, we're talking about, this is the Customize Your Life book, okay? First of all, if you haven't got it, if you haven't read it, you need to. It is so good. I'm gonna put that in the Telegram. Done. Okay, here we go. So basically, like, what they're talking about, if you've been following along, has been like, you know, it's like the plan to customize your life and how you actually walk through this, and like, you know, it's like having a blueprint. That's what we talked about yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before. Having a blueprint. You know, basically the importance of, like, if you want to change your life or if you want to get results in something, you know, it's essential to have a plan to make it happen. And we look at that like a blueprint, right? A blueprint is like very detailed, step by step for it to happen. So I'm not going to read the whole chapter. I'm just going to share this one part because I think it really pertains to our business. But this is, for those of you that are reading the book, this is in chapter 6. And it's about, like, you know, if you have a goal or you have a goal to do something. So this could be in your business, in your life, your personal life. This could be in whatever it is, taking action and follow through. So this part is called, this section that I'm going to read is like committing to the process. And it starts with saying process isn't a sexy word, but it's proven to work, right? So if you want results in anything, you have to understand that there's a process to it, right? You don't just like wake up and then like make $1 million, or you don't just wake up and have a 6-pack. Like, if you want results in anything, it's a process. So I'm going to just read from here. This literally blew my mind. Even though you've thought through your vision, blueprint, and tribe, and you've made the decision to push forward, there's one more step. So there's one more step in anything that you want results in, and that step is commitment. But it's not as simple as it sounds, because when you commit to something, when you have a goal and you commit to something, it's a daily choice, okay? This blows my mind when it comes to this with the business. It takes self-discipline and fastness, right? Like, success loves speed. It takes intention. Nothing great, nothing worth having ever happens overnight. In order to reach your goals and fully customize your life or get results in anything, you have to adopt a long-term mindset. That begins in falling in love with the process. Process is not a sexy word, but it's proven to work. If you string together, say, enough healthy meals, you're going to lose weight. If you gain, you're going to gain energy and feel better. If you exercise day after day, before long, you have better stamina, better thoughts, and higher self-esteem. If you spend less than what you earn each month, and invest the excess, you're creating wealth. So trusting the process in anything requires self-discipline and a healthy dose of patience. If you think about the analogy, this is what blew my mind, okay? This is like, holy crap. Okay, if you think about the analogy of building a house, okay? So you're building a house. You can see how in the process of building a house, it pays to be patient and to follow the process. In the construction process, it seems to take forever to actually see the house take shape. The beginning stages of building a house include, okay, you clear the area, the debris, the trees, you level the ground, you add the underground utilities, you pour in the foundation. That's the first step in the process of building a house. Maybe then you need to, like, you know, excavate or put in, you know, it says like erosion control, heavy machinery is involved. There's lots of other muddy, messy, and unpretty stuff that even starts before you build a house. One of the first steps is building deep concrete basis called footings to support the foundation and the weight of the entire house. So if you didn't have this, if you skipped that process of building a house, the entire structure would sink into the ground and it would be gone. Just when you think, okay, that's done, it's time to get things rolling and look for the result of a house, there's so much more to the process. Before you can actually pour in the foundation, you have to wait and make sure that there's inspection and be sure that everything is properly installed. Once you pass the inspection, then you can pour the foundation. And so basically it's saying, like, think about all that work that goes into literally just pouring a foundation, right? And this is something that nobody ever talks about unless you're a builder or a structural agent, right? Why would you even think about this when building a house or when you're in a house? Have you ever walked into a house, whatever, and admired the foundation? Have you ever walked in and said, like, man, I can only imagine the size of, like, the footings in this house. Like, the foundation must be so nice. Like, you know, how deep did you go? It says like 18 inches, 2 feet. Like, nobody ever talks about that. There's no way. You walk into a house and you admire the marble countertops. You admire the light fixtures. You admire like the surface, the craftsmanship, and the trim and the hardwood. Nobody ever compliments the foundation, even though it is literally the most important part of the whole structure. It will be the toughest to remain committed during the building of your foundation. Dude, this is so good. Okay, it will be the toughest to remain committed during the building of your foundation as you remove the debris, like your bad habits and your bad associations. For example, when you talk about customizing your life, or when it's building a business, it could be like your lack of discipline or your unorganization or your like whatever it is that's holding you back. Install your footings, your non-negotiables, your creeds, your values. Go through your inspection, which is like looking for weak spots, you know, creating your accountability team. You'll do so without much celebration. So basically what it's saying is the foundation is really hard because you don't really get the celebration. You don't have those good feelings as if you would when, like the example in this book is walking in and admiring the light fixtures. It's in the foundational process that you really do the most work that is the most important with little reward. Do you see what I'm saying? Working on your foundation is often grueling, but it sets you up for exponential success. Like, without the foundation in a home, it's never going to stand. Without the foundation and doing the work, if you're talking about business, right, that will never get off the ground. Maybe it's like whatever it is for you. So you have to commit to the process. Take the drudgery in stride and stay married to your commitment. And again, it says keep with the end in mind. It's important to remember that now, no matter how many people are involved, you must have the same commitment to your vision and blueprint that a builder has when he builds a house. Rushing things leads to cutting corners, which ultimately results in just bad work. To raise the stakes and therefore solidify your commitment, accountability is key. To create accountability, declare your goals to a few trusted friends and family members. Be sure to choose people who you know will respect your new commitment. You want people who will speak life and encouragement into you and will want you to succeed and hold you accountable if you ask them to. Your commitment to the process will suddenly take on new stakes that you've declared your goals to those you know and trust. Now you know somebody is watching you with intent. Okay. Track your progress. What gets measured gets done. It's a simple concept that holds a lot of potential. Think about it. You track your time to stay productive. You track your grades to measure your learning. You track your finances to monitor your spending and your wealth. And you track your strength and the relationships. You track the strengths of your relationships by having regular conversations. So tracking your habits and your progress is no different. It's not only a way to hold yourself accountable, but to increase discipline. Positive habits also build your personal momentum. Former Navy SEAL commander, current podcaster Jack has a simple 3-word motto. Dude, so freaking good. Discipline equals freedom. It's his mantra for life. If you want more freedom in your life, get more disciplined by committing to your new daily habits. If you want more time, stay disciplined in your time management. Dude, this is so good. You want to be financially free, you have to stay disciplined to your financial behavior. If you want to be free of health challenges, stay disciplined to your healthy habits. Discipline sounds like a bad word, but people who are the most disciplined actually make the biggest strides towards success. Our method of tracking is simple. We use a tracking sheet to track our daily habits in increments of 90 days at a time. We found that if you can commit to something for a minimum of 90 days, you are likely to make it a habit. Once the behavior moves from a habit to a non-negotiable, it becomes a part of your DNA and you will no longer have to track it. If you Google the Seinfeld strategy, you'll find countless articles describing how comedian Jerry Seinfeld built a habit of success. According to the myth, Seinfeld hung a full-year wall calendar in a prominent place in his apartment, and for every day he wrote new material, he would cross that day off with a big X. Now, ironically, Seinfeld said he didn't come up with the method, but he thinks it's funny that it's attributed to him. Wherever the idea comes from, it has merit. The idea is to keep the habit up until it becomes a chain, and your goal is to not break the chain. Dude, our point here is to not tie yourself to the process, but to celebrate your wins. If you do something with discipline for a week or a month or a year, it's a big deal. You should celebrate it. We all know the benefits of offering an incentive for a positive behavior. Parents use this to their advantage all the time, saying things like, hey, if you put your toys away, I'll give you a treat. Dopamine is just like that, a piece of candy for your brain. When you want to get something done, dopamine, also known as the feel-good hormone, is released, making you feel good. So the feeling is you have to reward yourself for success, and biologically you are wired to want more of that feeling. So when you reward yourself for success, you are programmed to want more of it. In fact, you're going to chase it, which makes it a tool that you can use to, use for your advantage, to, like, whatever you're tracking, right? Like, whether this is business or personal. It is possible to use little tricks to manipulate your body's dopamine responses, using it as jet fuel to propel you towards success. This is the reason a really granular to-do list works wonders. If you want to experience little dopamine spikes as you work towards accomplishing your bigger goals, when you see that little task list that has been completed or crossed off, you actually get a rush of accomplishment. When you do this day after day after day, you want to keep the feeling going. It gives you the added incentive to not break the chain. Celebrate your wins. It will be a long journey if you only feel oh my god, this is so good. Okay, my mind is blown. If you only feel a sense of accomplishment when you cross the finish line, you're never going to feel that sense of accomplishment, because every single goal that you hit is a starting line for something else. You might as well literally just understand that it's a process. This is like blowing my mind right now, and enjoy it, but celebrate it along the way. Okay, well, I'm just gonna finish this off. I know I said I wasn't gonna read the whole chapter, and I was gonna read that one part, but it's just so good. This is the last part. Stay the course. Starting something is easy because the initial excitement provides enough fuel to get the engine started. When the end is in sight, crossing the finish line is easy. Once you've come far and you're almost there, you're not gonna stop, even if you have to drag yourself over the line. It's the middle where the things get tricky. Just like in a big race, on the Customize Your Life journey, the middle part is tough. Even more difficult for some than laying the foundation. It's the part when no one is applauding you, when the changes or results aren't dramatic enough to be felt or seen. Unfortunately, this is the time when you're also going to get resistance or negative about how you, commenters about how you should be living your life instead. Those negative commenters can be external, but don't be surprised if they're also internal. This messy middle is the easiest time to talk yourself out of following through on your dreams. So beware. Thanks to the fatigue, this is a time when you are the most vulnerable and more likely to stray from the path. This is the time when you find out what you're made of. Oh my God. Commit to yourself and your goals. It's the best thing you'll ever do. When you find yourself weary from the work and struggling to take a step forward, stay the course. This is when you pull out of your creed, turn it over and over in your head like you would a smooth stone on your hands. You'll find that it provides calm in this tough time, thanks to bumpers that keep you on track. When you have your creed in your mind, and we talked about that in another chapter, what like your personal creed would be, and it weighs heavily on your heart, it simply just becomes a part of who you are. Through your creed, your non-negotiable fighting spirit, you will persevere and follow through. Bro, this is so good. Sometimes this means stepping up your game and taking your commitment to the next level. Our friends Mika and Deanna Lissert, creators of Hitch Fit, have demonstrated to us through their example that they do not believe in cheat days. They said it's because building in a time to cheat means that being healthy then becomes something they do rather than something that they are. They want to eliminate every obstacle that derails them from their course. With a cheat or rest day, they would constantly have to reset and pump themselves back up for another 6-day run at good health. Instead, they've committed to making a lifestyle change that they live out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Healthy living has become a part of their identity. It's their non-negotiable. And in this, they've created something that they have to follow through with because doing so would betray who they are. So when you have a vision or a goal, you have to stick to your guns and let your filter, which is actually something that they talked about in the previous chapter that I didn't read today. So if you get this book, you'll read it. But basically, like, the filter, what they mean by that is like you have to determine what information and who you hear things from that you take as fact. You know what I mean? Like, so basically talks about your circle. Like when you want to accomplish a goal or you want to move forward or you want to, whatever it is, right? Like this is talking about customizing your life, but you have to have a filter of like, and a boundary of like what you allow in and what you are allowed to process and what you have to like let it just like, you know, hit off the side. Like, so that's what your filter. So letting your filter do its job so you can be liberating and help you simplify decisions. But it's not always that simple. We won't lie. Having to say no to things that you'd usually jump at can feel crappy at times. However, there are ways you can reshape your thinking to avoid this feeling. Resisting temptation and sticking to your goals will require willpower and self-control, but it gets easier over time. Remember that by delaying gratification, you are putting off what you want now so you can get something else, something better later on. After all, you're building something that's going to give you greater abundance in the future. So at the end of each chapter, they just have the principles, the takeaways, and then the calls to action. So I'll just share these with you. So the principles are: your breakthrough is only good as your follow through. Commitment is a daily decision. You can't manage what you can't measure. You can't manage what you can't measure. I'm getting a million TikTok notifications. I think one of my things are going. Takeaways. Every time you stand on the edge of a great change, it's scary. To put it simply, you need a filter to keep out the bad, or at least the neutral, and let in the good. The wrong inputs can easily pollute your system and contaminate your thinking. Process is not a sexy word, but it works. No, this is so good. No one ever compliments the foundation, even though it is the most important part of the entire structure. Discipline sounds like a bad word, but the people who are the most disciplined have the most freedom and make the biggest strides towards success. Customizing your life will take a lifetime. You might as well enjoy it and celebrate it along the way. When you find yourself weary from the work and struggling to take another step, stay the course. Now the actions are 3, okay? Trim your inputs. As you turn the corner and begin putting together your roundtable, which is the next chapter, it's critical that you decide who you listen to and who you ignore. Take stock of your inputs and evaluate whether they're adding value and pushing you closer to your customized life or taking you away from it. Number 2, embrace discipline. Get clear in your mind that you have to do some things over and over and over and over again before they produce the desired results. Commit to the process and trust that results will follow. Commit to an open mind. This is number 3. With growth comes exposure to new ways of thinking. Some of these will push you in directions that make you feel uncomfortable or counterintuitive to the way that you have been thinking. Be willing to keep an open mind to see where the road leads. Wow, so good. I had to come share that with you guys. It literally blows my little mind. So I hope you guys are having a great Saturday. And I'm really excited to keep going through this book. I don't know. It's really like, you know, sometimes things just come into your like path and you're like, wow, I really needed this. Actually, and while I have you guys, or if you're watching this later, I've also just started listening to a new book. If any of you are looking for an Audible book recommendation, we started this yesterday and I've only listened to the first chapter. I actually heard it, like someone referenced this on a podcast, and I was like, this sounds like it's so good. So anyways, it's called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Okay, this is one that I started yesterday. So if you're looking for a recommendation, I'm going to probably share that in here too. All right, guys. Have a great Saturday. Bye-bye.